If you're eager to dive into French culture or learn French in Winnipeg, Jeudi Franco Thursdays is the perfect spot. Held every Thursday from June to August in the St. Boniface area, it offers a variety of experiences, including tours and casual conversations at local businesses, museums, and to find out more, we've got Kate Fowler here. Let's get into it.
My role at Jeudi Franco Thursdays is I'm essentially, I guess you could call me the event manager. I work for an organization that puts it on, which is the Economic Development Council for Manitoba Bilingual Municipalities. So they are the parent organization that puts on the event called Jeudi Franco Thursdays. And I'm the event manager for it.
Yeah, there's always so many cool different organizations that represent the different cultural centers here in Winnipeg. And I know St. Boniface, and it's such a beautiful part of Winnipeg. The university there, there's the old church that was burned down and kind of been built around.
St. Boniface Cathedral?
Yes, it's such a beautiful region.
Yeah, actually, so I guess looking back to St. Boniface Cathedral, it's a good thing you mentioned that, because that's sort of how it played a role in how Jeudi Franco Thursdays all started. So I would say a few years ago, maybe 2019-ish, around that time, CEDEM, which is the acronym for the Economic Development Council for Manitoba Bilingual Municipalities, they reached out to different organizations, including, I believe at the time it was Alliance Française, also Ciné Montal, which is a French film festival organization, and also Freeze Frame. So some of the French organizations in Manitoba, in Winnipeg, CEDEM reached out to them to see if they'd be interested in doing an event at St. Boniface Cathedral called Cinéma sous les étoiles. So in English, that translates to Cinema Under the Stars. So that was the first event that we started doing here in St. Boniface on Thursday nights, every Thursday from the beginning of June to the end of August. And it was certainly a success, especially during the pandemic. It was one of the only activities that you could do. It was outside. They were able to accommodate by spacing people out in the cathedral. But if you haven't been, it's a beautiful setting to go see an outdoor film sitting amongst the ruins of St. Boniface Cathedral. And what also makes the event unique is that they're all French language films with English subtitles, so accessible to both major language groups in Winnipeg. So that's sort of how that was one of the first events. That was a few years ago. And now we've grown from that one event to what we have today, which is over a dozen partners that do events, put on programming at their particular businesses or organizations to really animate and celebrate St. Boniface and its culture here in Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's so cool. I grew up in Winkler, so French influence wasn't really there. I mean, Plout Deitch, one of the languages, but mostly English. So coming to Winnipeg, and then most of the areas, you're it's mostly predominantly English, and then you find these pockets, and you're like, wow, there's so much French here. I didn't realize that. And then you find out about all the different French communities around Manitoba as well. And I think it's always exciting. And yeah, when you're talking about the cathedral, I've gone there for a couple photo shoots. It's a beautiful, beautiful region. The dozens of other participants and people involved in this project for the variety of different activities. So if someone comes out on a Thursday, what are some things that they can expect?
One thing that you can do to sort of help you plan your night every Thursday in St. Boniface during the summer is we have a website that might be your best sort of go-to to help you plan and see what's happening. And it's simply Jeudi, Jeudis. So that's basically Thursdays in English. That's the translation in English. So Thursdays. So jeudifranco.com. So that's our website.
Thursday Franco Thursdays.
We have a website. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. Same handle there. So if you go to the website, it lists all of our partners, and they all have their own page that will list what they'll be doing during any particular week. So
yeah, there's so much stuff here. There's this Bike Historic Winnipeg, Cafe Conversations, the cinema that you were mentioning. What else is here? Kilter Brewing Company. There's so many things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very diverse as well. So for example, you mentioned Kilter. There's also Kilter Brewing Company. There's also Le Patio 340, so that's Patio 340 at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center. On the surface, they look like two very similar options. They both are basically outdoor bars in a way, but you're going to have a totally different experience if you go to Le Patio versus Kilter. Primarily because Le Patio 340, most of the vast majority of the program is going to be in French. Still, I would arguably say accessible to Anglophones. You go there, you're listening to people sing in French, and they did comedy last year in French as well, but it's still accessible to Anglophones as well as far as ordering drinks, and it's just great music to listen to regardless.
Of course.
So whereas Kilter, they do have Francophone artists as well that come, but they it's definitely one of our more Anglophone partners that can sort of, if your French level is 0, it might be a good launching point because you might get a little taste of that while you're there. So
yeah, I was thinking about that. The more you can experience a language by just going and being around it, it can help like give you those little moments. Like my French, awful. Like I stopped at grade 9, couldn't do it. But every once in a while, I'll have like a word or two that are like, oh, okay, I recognize that sometimes. But it is definitely something that I want to get more invested in and learn more about. And yeah, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. And I think that's a great launching point to talk about, the importance of celebrating French culture here in Winnipeg. And Jeudi Franco Thursdays is just a cool way to, as you mentioned, be that jumping off point where someone maybe is inspired to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the events that take place during Jeudi Franco Thursdays, certainly a diverse range, not only in what activities you can do, like, so there's music, but then there's also, we have La Maison des Artistes, which is an art gallery. We have tours, walking tours, bike tours. We have a summer market, and that list goes on. So the activities are diverse, and as far as the types of people that can come, like couples, families, and that sort of thing. So there's something for everybody, but also it's diverse in the sense that depending on what you'd like to do, there's something for people that are beginner level French, and then there's things for those that are, fully fluent in French. So I can make a recommendation to you if you're interested. You mentioned Café Conversation. It's very straightforward. All it really is it's we have a partner who hosts cafe conversation groups. So it gives people like you an opportunity to just come out, meet some other people that just want to practice their French. And it's all levels. So it's a bit of a harsh term, rock bottom, intro level, or this is very interesting. I want to note this. A couple weeks ago, it's crazy. I think it's such a crazy story. So a couple weeks ago, the person organizing Café Conversation groups, he's actually my husband. So, he told me that a couple weeks ago, he hosted a group, and it's a gentleman came who's fully fluent in French. He's originally from Haiti, but get this, he came up to this Café Conversation group from North Dakota. He came up from North Dakota to come to this group because there's 0 French in North Dakota, but he's originally from Haiti, so he's fully fluent in French, and he wanted just some
French experience.
So it was bananas. I was like, we were just totally blown away that he drove all the way up from North Dakota to just be around some French culture. So there's definitely a demand for it. An appreciation for it, not only Winnipeg, but apparently not far away.
Yeah. And I think that just is the cool aspect of it's an opportunity to potentially connect with people from all over the world, right? Like he's from Haiti, lives in North Dakota, came here to visit, and it ties into that community aspect as well. One of the only opportunities to kind of connect with people and engage with people during the COVID pandemic. And it just keeps fostering that sense of community, which I think is incredibly important.
Yeah. And so just another interesting aspect to, who we're seeing come out. Something just from my own personal experience, I should mention that I am Anglophone. My last name is Fowler. It's very Scottish. Everyone around me, they all have French last names. So I can definitely relate to that experience of being an Anglophone girl in a Francophone world, so to speak. But but one of the things that I discovered since sort of being immersed in this community is that I'm not sure if you're familiar with La Maison Gabriel Roy, like the author. Have you been to Kilter Brewing before?
No, I haven't, but I definitely, after this conversation, all of this is like, well, now I definitely want to check this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I asked about Kilter because yeah, if you make it ready, you should go anyways if you like really interesting beer. It's very good. But just on that street, it's Rue Deschambault. There is a yellow house amongst all the other houses on the street in a residential area. So that was the Francophone author Gabrielle Roy. She spent some of her childhood in that home. I'm not sure if you know about, I make the comparison to Anne of Green Gables. So there's a strong contingent of people that are fans of Anne of Green Gables. They go to, it's not really where she grew up, but anyways, people go and visit that site because they're just fanatical about Anne of Green Gables. Gabrielle Roy is like incredibly famous in Quebec. And so there are Quebecois that come.
Yeah, come visit.
And it's very popular in Quebec to rent RVs and do like road trips across Canada, and they'll stop here and they'll go to Maison Gabrielle Roy. But so one of the things we're seeing is that we're able to, so when they come and visit, we're able to, intercept them in a way and say, hey, there's all this other stuff happening here. You don't have to just come to see this house. There's all these really cool, interesting things that are Francophone culture, and they really appreciate that. And they discover, more to Francophone culture in Winnipeg, because I've seen it firsthand that, people, especially in Montreal, don't know much about French culture outside of Quebec. They don't really even realize it exists, maybe in New Brunswick, but, so that I found that interesting.
Yeah, I just pulled up the Canadian Encyclopedia on her. Fascinating. I'll definitely have to do some more research after this to learn about her. But I think that's so cool. Like, the more I learn about Manitoba's history and the people who've lived here, like, you think sometimes like, oh, Manitoba, it's kind of like a little sleepy province where you don't think anything happens. But there's like so much here that you have to just.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you're totally right. Even on a larger level, just from my experience in, working in the tourism industry in general, it's almost a bit absurd, like how much is happening here in Winnipeg, particularly on an arts and culture level. I was joking a bit with my husband. We do a lot in St. Boniface as far as culture events, but even just outside of there, if you go on, outside of St. Boniface.
Well, the Fringe Festival recently happened.
Yeah, so we've gone to Fringe, and we've also, I joked with him because earlier in the year, we went to the ballet. One of the ballets we went to, the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. One of the ones we went to, it was actually a 2-part ballet. So Carmina Burana, which is a very famous opera, and the second was the opener ballet was called Tall Man of the Woods, and it was an Indigenous produced ballet. I saw that, and then it came out after for the intermission. I'm like, I can't believe that was the opener, right? It was just like, and it's crazy. Like, I've been to New York, and it's sort of, that caliber is here, right?
Yeah,
like,
we have so much, like, there's so many different like small theaters and performances
Yes.
around Winnipeg. What was it? Just Mabu High, a new musical, recently just closed out, completely amazing at Rainbow Stage. Yeah, there's so many arts and cultural aspects in Winnipeg, and it's always so exciting. And with this, would be Franco Thursdays. I definitely want to check it out myself. Once again, if people want to find out more information, where can they go?
Yeah. So again, you can check out our website. So that is jeudifranco.com. So that would be JEUDISFRANCO, jeudifranco.com. And you can also, many of us, rather than just go to the website, you can just Google Jeudi Franco, and that all those sources will come up on your search, our website, our Instagram page, and everything, and our social media. So
amazing. I gotta lock that in. Jeudi.
Wait.
Okay. Perfect.
Jeudi, yes. JeudiFranco.com. Yeah, you got it.
Have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight? Leave a comment on our social media, reach out to us on our website. I'm Ryan Funk. This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.